Hi, welcome to Pictures, Noise and Words. I'm Hedgy and I've got rid of Millie. If you watched the last Ninganisu video, you'll see I had Millie the dog because she wouldn't stop barking, but we've calmed her down. This is a band called An Erotic End of Times. I suppose if the end times come, they might as well be erotic. Makes sense. I don't know this band. And this is, I think, 2 songs. It's entitled Love Is The End and No Rights. And I think it's 2 songs put together for this video. So the video is quite long. It's like 8.5 minutes. I've heard some of this, just like a minute of it, just to, you know, kind of check it out. The reason I know about this band is because I did a video by a band called Porn, which is like an industrial goth band from France. Can't remember the name of the song, but you'll be able to find it easy enough. And when I was checking out the band Porn, I think it was on their Facebook, they'd put that this band had put an album out, so I just plucked it, and here we are. So I don't know the band, and I don't know these songs. So this is like one of those random chance kind of things. They're not a big band. They're from France, I think. I'm pretty sure they are. And this is from this album, which is called Chapter 1, which came out last year. It's got a really cool cover, this album. I do go on about covers sometimes, and I think that's my age. Because, you know, when you used to get vinyl, I know vinyl's come back, you know, but I'm thinking back to when, you know, the sort of the 80s, when everything was vinyl. The artwork was really quite important because it was this big. You know, it wasn't on a even CD artwork is important, but on a vinyl it was this big, or you'd have a big gatefold and you'd have fantastic art right through it and everything, and it really added something, and it gave some bands, I've gone off the theme of this band a bit here, I've gone on a rant, but it gave some bands an identity. You think of like Eddie for Iron Maiden, you know, without all of their great cover art, you know, that mascot would never have really existed. Same with Megadeth's, I can't remember his name, but you know, they're sort of that metal faced mascot that what's it called? I should know this. Megadeth's mascot. You know, all of these things, they wouldn't really exist. The old Yes albums that had all Roger Dean artwork on, you know, you could spot one from 100 yards away because it was so unique. And certainly the digital age of download, it's just gone. Yeah, there is artwork to download, but sometimes it's like this big. It's a postage stamp or something. You don't connect with it. So when I see a nice artwork on album covers, I kind of connect with it. I go, ooh, that's good, I like that, you know, I take notice of it. It's probably my age, but I think it's a shame if it's being lost, you know. I bet if I went and spoke to my children, they'd probably go, who cares? I don't know, I've never asked them the question, but they probably would be like, who cares, because you don't see it anyway, you know. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this video whatsoever. So yeah, so this is industrial and a bit gothy, and I'm pigeonholing them, which I shouldn't do because I don't know anything about the band, so it's not fair of me to do so. But if you liked the video by the band Porn, which I did, like I say, a couple of weeks ago, I think you'll probably like this. I've only heard about a minute of it, but so maybe I'm wrong. It could go off in some weird technical death thrash direction. I don't think it's going to. Let's just get on with it. It's 8.5 minutes long as it is, without me whittering all over it. Yeah, so this is one where, you know, I don't know if anyone will watch this. I hope they do, because bands should need recognition. suspect we just transitioned from one song to the next there. The thing I quite like about industrial music is that it just keeps driving forward all of the time. It just keeps, it's quite simple without being insulting. But it always has a lot of feeling to it, I feel. Well, at least that's not fair. Some industrial's awful. But I quite like the goth industrial stuff. Like I say, I go to the Merra Luna Festival most years. I'm not going this year as it happens. It's just something about it. And I also like this kind of music when it's not driving forward like an express train. This was prevalent in the video by Porn. It's that quiet, malevolent, melodic, the feeling that you get. You get it a lot in Marilyn Manson's stuff, where it's just it's calm, but it's still got some malevolence to it. It's almost like it's like a foreshadowing of things to come when they sing like this, and I just like it. I just like to sort of, I listen to it almost in anticipation of what's going to come. So you kind of you feel like you're being set up, you know, for a payoff later in the song. You've got to be in the right kind of mood for this kind of music, and by its very nature, industrial goth is a bit niche, but it's still got a pretty good following, and I can listen to anything as long as it's got something to latch onto. I think, say anything, definitely draw the line at quite a lot of pop music, but something that's got some integrity, and I think this does have it.
Seems to be
Well, that didn't end well for anyone, did it? Actually, you should give the possessed girl, that actress, you should give her an award or something. She definitely gave that her all, didn't she? With better production, that song would have been massive, I think. Like I say, an Erotic End of Times, I think they're quite a small band. I don't know how big they are in France, but I think you've got that small band production, so it's good. It's good enough. But I think if it had been better, if you'd had better and bigger production, I think that song could have been quite epic, to be honest, towards the end. Because like a lot of these kind of songs, and I said it again, I keep referencing this, but I'm joining the two together. The video I did of the band Pawn, it builds up, and you get this a lot in this genre, where it builds and builds and builds, and they have these sort of calm, malevolent, emotion-filled voices that's kind of, it's just got this anguished sound to it, and it builds and builds, and you end up with these big payoffs at the end, which is what I was talking about earlier in the song. You know, it's nice and calm and everything, but you know it's going to build somewhere. And I think with better production, I think that would have been massive. As it is, I like it. I think if I played it really loudly, I think maybe some of that would have come across. It was pretty loud, but in here, but maybe even louder. But that's just me trying to compensate for the oh, excuse me. But that's me trying to compensate for the production a little. Like I say, some people won't like it. Some people like things to be a bit rock and roll or death metal or whatever, but we're talking about the 10,000 genres of metal here, so if you don't like it, just move on. And if you do like it, well, hey, new band. Brilliant. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and do all the liking and subscribing and all of that stuff that makes me feel better. And I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.